be losing my voice, so forgive me. We are going to talk about flow's experience and how to use it to in our educational situation, and how to help our students to achieve flow. Mahali Saint Mahali is a very famous psychologist. She created the name of flow, and she recognized the flow state experience in many artists. He described flow as a state, a highly focused mental state conducive to productivity. Actually, although he created the name of flow, and he also studied about positive psychology, but actually his early life is quite difficult. When he was 10 years old, one of his half brothers was killed in the war, and his another brother was sent to labor camps in Siberia by the Soviet. So when communities took control of Hungary in 1949, his father quit his diplomatic post instead of working for the communist region. So they move away from the Hungary, and in response, the communist region knocked out his father and took away their Hungarian citizenship. Then finally, he became an happiness researcher because of the adversity he faced growing up. He was even a prisoner during World War II, didn't because he committed a crime, just because of the war. So he witnessed the pain and suffering around him, and he saw many people was suffered during the World War II. As a result, he developed a curiosity about happiness and contentment. After the war, he took an interest in art, philosophy, and religion as a way to answer the question, what creates a life worth living? He finally immigrated to the United States at age 22. He worked hard and even worked night to support his study when he studied at the University of Chicago. So his life is quite difficult since the communist part take control his country. At the beginning, his family went to Europe. Then finally, he immigrated to United States. When he was in the European, he met a very famous psychologist who is Carl Jung. So he was inspired by him. Present Mihaly, he outlined his theory that people are happiest when they are in a state of flow, which is a state of concentration or complete absorption with the activity at hand and the situation. It is a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seemed to matter. So he write a very famous book. In this book, he created the name of flow. Flow refers to a highly focused mental state, which is very helpful for productivity. However, before he coined this term, similar idea had existed across the globe in different philosophical systems and school of thought. Uh, he interviewed many artists. Then he observed how artists work, and finally he have the idea of flow. In an interview with Wired magazine, Transcend Mahali described flow as being completely involved in an activity for its own sake. The ego falls away, time flies, every action, movement, and thought follows inevitably from the previous one. Like playing jazz, your whole being was evolved, and you are using your skill to the utmost. In a sense, flow is a state of focus in which a person is completely absorbed and engrossed in their work. Flow states often take place during creative tasks or painting, such as painting, drawing, or playing music, which can help inspire greater active and artist pursuits. It is an also optimal state of intrinsic motivation where the person is fully immersed in what they are doing. Transcend Mahali says that the best movement in our life are not the passive, receptive, relaxing time. The best movement usually occur if a person's body or mind is stretched to its limit in an voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult or worthwhile. Uh, Although Trizent Mahali has already passed away, but there is a video that he took for the TED talk. Um, Actually, although he is quite famous, he is quite young. He's not very old. He just passed away 2 years ago. We can see some talk that he gave 2 years ago, few years ago.
There is no sound.
Few of the grown-ups
Yes.
that I
Now, yes.
knew were
Mm, there is no sound.
After that, there is, yeah.
able to withstand the
There is no sound.
Now have, yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in Europe, and World War II caught me when I was between 7 and 10 years old, and I realized how few of the grown-ups that I knew were able to withstand the tragedies that the war visited on them. How few of them could even resemble a normal, contented, satisfied, happy life once their job, their home, their security was destroyed by the war. So I became interested in understanding what contributed to a life that was worth living. And I tried as a child, as a teenager, to read philosophy and to get involved in art and religion and many other ways that I could see as a possible answer to that question. And finally, I ended up encountering psychology by chance. Actually, I was at a ski resort in Switzerland without any money to actually enjoy myself because the snow had melted and I didn't have money to go to a movie, but I found that on the reading the newspapers that there was to be a presentation by someone in a place that seemed in the center of Zurich, and it was about flying saucers. He was going to talk, and I thought, well, since I can't go to the movies, at least I will go for free to listen to flying saucers. And the man who talked at that evening lecture was very interesting. And it actually, instead of talking about little green man, he talked about how the psyche of the Europeans had been traumatized by the war, and now they are projecting flying saucers into the sky, kind of as a. He talked about how the mandalas of ancient Hindu religion were kind of projected into the sky as an attempt to regain some sense of order after the chaos of war. And this seemed very interesting to me, and I started reading his books after that lecture, and that was Carl Jung, whose name or work I had no idea about. Then I came to this country to study psychology, and I started trying to understand these roots of happiness. This is a typical result that many people have presented, and there are many variations on it. But this, for instance, shows that about 30% of the people surveyed in the United States since 1956 say that their life is very happy. And that hasn't changed at all, whereas the personal income on a scale that has been held constant to accommodate for inflation has more than doubled, almost tripled in that period. But you find essentially the same results, namely that after a certain basic point, which corresponds more or less to just a few $1,000s above the minimum poverty level, increases in material well-being don't seem to affect how happy people are. And in fact, you can find that the lack of basic resources, material resources, contributes to unhappiness, but the increase in material resources do not increase happiness. So my research has been focused more on, after finding out these things that actually corresponded to my own experience, I tried to understand now where in everyday life, in our normal experience, do we feel really happy? And to start those studies about 40 years ago, I began to look at creative people, first artists and scientists and so forth, trying to understand what made them feel that it was worth essentially spending their life doing things for which many of them didn't expect either fame or fortune, but which made their life meaningful and worth doing. This was one of the leading composers of American music back in the 70s, and the interview was 40 pages long, but this little excerpt is a very good summary of what he was saying.
Oh, we didn't finish this video, but if you are interested, you can see the video on top website, TED website. This is the person he mentioned about who is Carl Jung. Carl Jung, he is quite famous in the lecture because then Chuzenta Mahali is too poor to spend money on some traveling or ski activity. So he go to a free lecture, and in this lecture he was inspired by Carl Jung. Chuzenta Mahali finally recognized and named the psychological concept of flow. Uh-oh. There are some example of flow state. Maybe you already know some example of flow state. For example, when you play music, you almost forgot time. If you are writing, if you are practice calligraphy, then you may have the experience of flow because you almost forgot the time. While observing an artist at work, Trezent Mahali became became fan, became intrigued by their single mind, unique focus, and persistence to continue with their artwork despite discomfort, fatigue, or hunger. However, once they finish the artwork, the artist tended to lose all interest in the complete work. He almost forgot, maybe give it away immediately. So it's a very interesting experience. He finds that flow experience is often associated with the arts creative activity or arts, such as painting, drawing, or writing. However, it also can occur while engaging in sports, such as skiing, tennis, running, or soccer, dancing, or swimming, something else. So I want to ask everybody, do you have any experience of flow? What type of activity lead to this experience? I want to invite uh, some people to respond to me. Uh, Xinyu, do you want to try um, or Jiarong? Oh, my question is, do you have any experience of flow, and what type of activity lead to this experience? Mm, okay, please.
Okay, my experience is writing, like doing some form of recording down the activities in the school or writing to myself, like writing diary or anything. So it's more related to doing some conversation or yeah, 写作吧. Yeah, thank you.
So you experience a state of flow when you are writing.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. How about Xingyu? Do you have any experience of flow, and what kind of activity do you do at that time? Are you ready, Xingyu? I want to invite other students to respond to me. Or Alona, are you okay to share your experience? Okay, let's move on. So, in this sense, do you want to cultivate flow? Because flow is something that we can cultivate if we know the characteristics of flow. Flow have 8 characteristics. 1. Complete concentration on the task. 2. Clarity of goal and rewards in mind and immediate feedback. 3. Transformation of time, speeding up or slowing down. When you have an experience of flow, you maybe forgot the time is pacing. When you are writing, maybe it can last for maybe few hours or sometimes even once month. But I personally have some experience of writing for probably 3 or 4 days, but just keep writing, didn't stop at all. So if you know the flow experience, it sometimes can last for a very long time, but sometimes it lasts at least for few hours or maybe half an hours. And at that time you forgot the the you forgot time is flying, and you have a strange sense about time. Actually, you feel like time is passed away very slow. Number 4, the experience is intrinsically rewarding because you didn't get paid to work for a long time, so actually you are motivated by yourself. So it is the highest level of intrinsic motivation experience. Number 5, effortlessness and ease, because you need to do something that you are familiar, then you can have the experience of flow. So if the text is too difficult, too challenging, you probably didn't get the experience of flow. 6, there is a balance between challenge and skills. So the challenge could not be too hard, but could not be too easy. Your skill must be high. If you are not familiar, if you didn't have enough skill, you didn't have the experience, you couldn't experience a flow state. 7, action and awareness are merged, losing self-conscious rumination. So at that time, you forgot yourself. you even forgot who you are. Number 8, there is a feeling of control over the text. So you experience a state of flow when you can totally control the text. If the text is too hard and too much distraction, you cannot experience a state of flow. Who can experience flow? People who tend to do things for their own sake rather than chasing some distant external goals can experience flow more frequently. This type of personality is distinguished by certain meta skills such as high interest in life, persistence, and low self-contentedness. Researchers have found that flow is negatively correlated with neuroticism and positively correlated with conscientiousness. It is believed that if someone is keep blending themselves, criticizing themselves in mind, he probably have a sense of anxiety and couldn't experience the joy and the experience of flow. On the other hand, if individuals who are very relaxed, who are more likely to dedicate time to mastering challenging tasks, which is also an important aspect of experiencing flow, especially in workplace. This kind of person can experience flow more frequently. What happens in the brain during flow? Today, our science know more about the function of brain. We can observe that there is a decrease in activity in the prefrontal cortex of the brain during during the state of flow. The, the prefrontal cortex is an area of the brain responsible for higher cognitive functions such as self-reflective consciousness, memory, uh, temporal integration, and working memory. It is an area that's responsible for our conscious and explicit state of mind. However, in a state of flow, this area is believed to temporarily downregulate uh, in the process of flow. Uh, this downregulate process, or we can call it temporary inactivation of the prefrontal area, may trigger the feeling of distortion of time, loss of self-consciousness, and loss of inner critic. So because of the low function of free prefrontal cortex, you experience the distortion of time and forget something. This kind of experience. However, at the same time, uh, the inhibition of the prefrontal lobe may also enable the implicit mind to take over, allowing more brain area to communicate freely and engage in a creative activity. In other research, it is hypothesized that the flow state is related to the brain's dopamine function, which is highly amplified during flow. So when you experience a state of flow, your brain have very special functioning. Your brain communicate more with each other. Uh, the normal function was inhibited, and some spatial, some implicit function was working at that time. So when you experience a state of flow, your blood blew into the frontal cortex, and the activity in frontal cortex is not very high, and some kind of another mindset take over this area. Prefrontal cortex is usually responsible for high level cognition, self-consciousness, social cognition, initiation, decision making. So this area is quite important for humans' behaviors. It also triggers the function of dopamine. Dopamine make you feel happy and joyful. So it probably can explain why people have high enjoyment during when they experience a state of flow. Then what is the motivation behind your flow state? Actually, a long time ago, Truzant Mahali said that highest intrinsic motivation is a flow state where self-consciousness is lost. One sudden completely to the movement, and time means nothing at that time. So when we think about how to achieve flow, actually one can experience flow if distraction disrupt this experience. So therefore, the first things to do is to move away distractions that can borrow you. Especially, maybe the first step to do is to turn off your smartphone when you're seeking flow. Second, the balance of perceived challenge and skill are important. So, on the one hand, when a challenge is bigger than one's level of skills, one becomes anxious and stressed. On the other hand, when the level of skill exceeds the size of the challenge, one became bored and distracted. Uh, This is an old Japanese saying. Inducing flow is about the balance between the level of skill and the size of the challenge at hand. So you need take care two sides. Either too hard, not too hard, not too easy for you. So the challenge need to be enough hard, but not too hard. However, it is also very important to remember that flow is a dynamic process and even changing state. As your skill level increased, you will need to continue to adjust the level of challenge that is needed to help initiate a state of flow. Sometimes teamwork also very helpful to cultivate flow. Participating in an activity that would induce flow either in a team or by themselves. So you can choose a teamwork text, that will help a lot too. Students sometimes that flow to be more enjoyable when they are in a team rather than when they are alone. Joseph Mahali also described his flow model. When your skill level is high and your challenge level is high, you experience the flow, which is a yellow part in the picture. But if your skill level is very low, your challenge level is very low, then you will experience a state of empathy. If you if you have low challenge and high skill, then you have a sense of relaxation. If you have high challenge and low skills, then you experience anxiety. However, imagery and confidence is also very helpful to have a state of flow when people are playing tennis, and especially have ground stock practice. When they have some imagery practice and have more confidence, they tend to perform much better. So, in this sense, flow have some benefit. Number one, flow is very helpful for emotional regulation. With increased flow, people experience growth toward emotional complexity. This can help people develop skills that allow them to regulate their emotions more effectively. Researchers also suggest that people in a flow state tend to enjoy their tasks more, leading to more happiness, satisfaction, and self actualization. Moreover, because flow is a positive mental state, it can help people to increase motivation. Intrinsic motivation is involved doing things for internal rewards versus external rewards. People in a flow state feel fully involved in the task at hand. Researchers has already found that flow can enhance performance in a wide variety of areas, including teaching, learning, or artist activity. Number five, learning skill development and creativity is also they are also the benefits of a flow state because act of achieving flow indicate a substantial mastery of certain skills. People have to keep seeking new challenges and information in order to maintain this state. So, in this sense, um, I want to ask everyone, how will you achieve flow in workplaces or in a classroom? Actually, probably you can do something to help you to have this kind of experience. And what will you do to help yourself achieve a state of flow? Or even help your students, your colleague to achieve a flow state in workplace or in classroom. Um, Flow is also a highly focused state. So what will you do to help your students or yourself to being focused, fully involved in an activity. We probably have many this kind of experience. When you are writing, when you are doing your final term paper, you are highly focused. And how to help yourself or help your students to be very focused in an activity and experience high level of enjoyment, joy, or happiness. Mm. Or or maybe one or two sentence about how to help yourself to achieve flow. Uh, is it okay for Xinyu to begin with? Do you have any idea what factors can help us to achieve flow?
Can try to setting a goal.
Great idea.
Oh, and mm, and
Maybe remove some distractions that will borrow your flow experience. So you need set an environment first, probably, and focus on finish your goal. Is it what you want to say? Do you want to say more?
no anything.
Okay. Alona, will you be ready or is your computer okay to speak? Anish. Okay, maybe Fengyi, do you have any idea how to help yourself or other people to achieve flow?
Actually, I tried because I will write down the things that I need to be done for that day. At least I know that that is my focus. And then I actually try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. For I cannot focus very well, but I try to use the Pomodoro timer. 那个番茄时钟 25 minutes for the focus. At least I don't get distracted. I try to focus on doing what I do for the 25 minutes and then I rest for 5 minutes, and then I go another 25 minutes again. So this is at least at that 25 minutes, I won't do anything. I just focus on what I want to do. And then, as what professor said just now, I try to remove all the things that might distract my attention at that moment. For example, the phone is the most distracting things that will affect me. So I will
Mm-hmm.
uh, leave my phone, maybe not in the room or the workplace that I have. So I just leave there for at least the 25 minutes I want to concentrate. So I won't touch the phone for that period. Yeah. That is I try during I want to focus to finish the things that it has to be done. Yeah.
Oh, but if you use tomato cloth, it will interrupt your experience of flow actually. But you can be concentrated. You focus on doing your work very well and finish them in time. Uh, but probably it will interrupt your experience of flow.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
definitely.
it's not exactly the same thing, but very similar.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But
Just share what I when I want to do the concentration. So I will try this, but I know that it won't go to the flow when I'm doing the
yeah,
work. Yeah.
flow is more high level,
Yes,
but
yes.
you are very close, just a step away. Please, Alona.
Yes, thank you. How I achieve my flow? Usually, when I did some competitions or something like this in childhood, I had some chocolate and juice in my competition, and when I was started, it's like for 3 hour or 4 hours Olympiad in maths or IT. And if I retire it, I have some a little pause and just relax with my chocolate and fruit. Yes,
Mm-mm.
I think
So,
it's okay to have some a little relax when you're working.
mm, yeah, so you prepare everything, water, uh, air, everything that make you feel comfortable, then you are prepared to experience a state of flow probably. Because you do some art products, I think, artwork maybe, so you can focus for quite a long time maybe. I think it's a way to achieve flow. Since you want to do it, really want to do it, you can experience a spatial uh, state of your brain. Yeah. How about we only have one person left. Oh, Anish, is your computer work? Is your computer okay for share your experience, share your idea, opinions? We wait for you. Okay, how to achieve flow state? To achieve flow state, it actually at least take 10 to 15 minutes of focusing attention on doing something. Uh, Once in flow, it sometimes lasts from 30 minutes to a few hours, maybe few days sometimes, I think. However, it is possible to achieve flow more than once a day, given the right conditions. If you have right condition, environment, you can experience a flow for a very long time. But first of all, you need to turn off your cell phone and um, telephone. maybe enough water, or you didn't need to go to toilet. But some people, even they go to toilet, they are still in a feeling of flow, experience of flow, and they come back, but they mm, they are a little bit low function when they go to toilet. So need to be very careful. When I am writing some papers, I sometimes driving. I sometimes I'm driving, but I'm still thinking about how to write that section. Then it's very difficult to handle everything in on the road. So it will be a little bit dangerous. But some people who work for art experience this kind of things a lot. There are some steps to achieve flow. uh, One, set clear goals that you really want to finish. Two, eliminate distractions. Three, and an element of challenge. So the text need to be interesting, challenge, and full of challenge, and you believe you can do it. Uh, Four, practice meditation and mindfulness. Five, choose a pursuit that you enjoy. Mm, if a person practice meditation more frequently or mindfulness approach more frequently, he have more chance to experience a state of flow. But if it's impossible to practice or learn meditation, uh, it is also okay, in my opinions, to learn Tai Chi, Tai Chi Chuan, uh, martial art, or kung fu, or qi gong, something like that. It will yoga, something like that. It will all help you to constant to stay focused, or stay in a way of mindfulness. However, the things that you do is really you enjoy, then the happiness will keep you doing the things for a long time. Sometimes I think that the test could not be too difficult. Sometimes if you cut fruit for a long time, you can experience a state of flow if you have a trained mind. Actually, Mm. You feel a sense of peaceful happiness and joyful. Achieving a state of flow can be a great way to make the activities you pursue more engaging and enjoyable. Not only do people often perform better when they are in a state of flow, but they may also be able to improve their skills. Fortunately, it is also a skill you can learn to achieve with practice. It is also important to remember that flow is dynamic and ever changeable. So you need adjust your challenge level all the time. So um, we probably need take a break for 10 minutes. So how about see you in 10 minutes later, and you can take some water or go to toilet for a while. See you in 10 minutes.